Hi you guys, it's Arielle. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are all doing well. I haven't planned out this video. I don't think it's gonna be the podcast that most people want, but I really just wanted to make this video because I feel terrible that I haven't been able to post in 2 or 3 weeks. And I was trying to figure out why I feel so terrible, why I feel so guilty. And it's because this second channel was supposed to be the channel where I could post my life, post, I guess more intimate content, post for friends, I want to say. And the past 3 weeks, and even in the weeks that I have coming, have been some of the most stressful weeks of my whole life, which we'll get into. But I felt the same guilt that I felt when I had to cancel on my best friend this weekend. My best friend Myra, she lives in Canada, and we try and have video phone calls, like FaceTime, often enough to catch up and stuff. And we were supposed to catch up on Sunday, but I just literally did not have the energy, didn't have the time to catch up with her. And I felt terrible. I didn't even send her a message to explain. She already knew because she kind of knew what I was going through. I felt the same way about my second channel. So yeah, I'm really sorry that I haven't been able to post. I literally have so much to post. I have 3 vlogs that are already done, and they are some of the coolest vlogs that I've ever filmed, but I don't want to post them until I post my podcast, because in the past couple of weeks, Jean and I have traveled home to see my family, and then we traveled to Bordeaux to visit Jean's friends. They had their housewarming and their PAX celebration, and the way that it worked out is we had planned this trip to Bordeaux months ago. Like, as soon as we got invited to the housewarming, we booked our train ticket. And then we booked our trip to Canada. Oh my, I don't know, like not even, I don't know when, probably 2 months ago. And we booked it around, obviously, the cheapest flights. And the cheapest flight got us back in Paris less than 12 hours before we had to take our train to Bordeaux. And so literally so much has happened. Like, I actually have so much to tell you guys. It's crazy. I have all of these vlogs that I want to share and post. And I was telling Jean, like literally on the plane, I was like, listen, Jean, we have exactly 12 hours to get home, do laundry, pack for Bordeaux, and sit down and film our podcast on Canada, because I really wanted to include Jean in that podcast. I wanted to talk about our culture shocks and stuff. And so we did that. We literally got on an 11 p.m. flight. We had dinner at 1 a.m. on the plane. We arrived in Paris at 10. By the time we got home, it was 2. And we threw our laundry in the machine. And we sat down and we filmed. And I really... Sorry, the sirens were so loud. I really wanted to post that podcast, but it was terrible. Like, Jean and I were so sleep deprived, so stressed. You could even tell on our faces, like, we were lost, we were confused, we were tired. I didn't want that to be the podcast where we talk about our trip to Canada. Like, I just didn't feel like it was good enough. Honestly, like, Canada was such an awesome experience and an amazing time, and I really want to do that justice. So I didn't end up posting that podcast, which is how I ended up with the first gap in the week of no content. And then, well, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm ranting, but I just really want to tell you guys what's going on. But yeah, then on our last week in Canada, a company had reached out to me that wanted to sponsor a couple of my videos. And if you've been watching my main channel for a while, you know that it is very rare that I have sponsors on my channel. And it's not because companies don't want to sponsor me. Like, I probably have 400 emails from companies that want to sponsor my videos, but I will, this is a promise, I will never ever promote something on my channel that isn't aligned with my values and isn't something that I genuinely use in my life on a daily basis. Like, yeah. So it's hard to have sponsors because when you have that kind of mindset, like when you have that kind of mindset, it's very limiting in who you can work with as a content creator. I can't even tell you how many times Temu and Shein have reached out to me for sponsorships, or even a couple months ago, I had that, not even months, probably a couple weeks ago, if you guys remember, I was talking about that other company who asked to sponsor a video, and I was talking with them, and I just didn't really like the way that they weren't transparent about their company, and I was like, no, if I don't trust you, I'm not going to promote this to people who trust me, you know? So anyways, all that to say is that it is so rare that I am able to accept a sponsorship from a company that I love. And so when this company reached out and we started talking and stuff, I was so happy to potentially be sponsored by a company that I literally use on a daily basis. I don't want to say because I want it to be a surprise. The first video that they're sponsoring is coming on next Saturday, I think. And so you guys will see who I'm talking about then. But the timeline for their campaign was so short. And so I have been like so focused on that video. You'll see on Saturday, like it's a huge production. I needed Jean's help so much for the video. It was like a lot of running around and stuff. I'm still filming it, to be honest. But then also I have a Bonjour Paris webinar that I'm giving on the 3rd arrondissement of Paris this week. And I've talked with those as well. Like the amount of books that I read, documentaries that I watch, like museums that I visit to prepare for any type of historical talk that I give on Paris, there's 100+ hours of research and editing and filming and script writing. Like it's a lot. And so I had anticipated the Bonjour Paris webinar. I had not anticipated, producing a pretty elaborate video for a sponsor. And so all of this combined, like for the past 2 weeks, maybe week and a half, it's been me working like 15 hours a day. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. It's crazy because I've taken a couple pictures and video clips in the past couple days, and you just like look at my eyes and I look exhausted and I feel exhausted. And that's why I haven't been able to sit down and properly film a podcast covering our trip to Canada, covering Bordeaux, covering literally everything I want to tell you guys about the past couple weeks. I'm not saying this because I want sympathy or anything. Like, I am fully aware of how lucky I am that I get to do YouTube in this serious way. Like, it's a lot of work, but it's work that I love. And so it's not like I want sympathy or anything. It's just I want to be honest with you guys with how life is and why I'm not able to really post on this channel at the moment. And like, to give you guys an idea, if you saw on my main channel on Saturday, I posted my history talk and then walking tour of the 9th arrondissement. That video I filmed in August, and I have been editing it all of last week. I literally finished the final edit on that video Saturday at 11:30 p.m. From 11:30 to midnight, it was uploading and I was working on the thumbnail. Once it was published at midnight French time, I literally closed my laptop, opened my Italian lessons to prepare for my Italian lesson that I had at 8 a.m. the next morning. So the next morning as in Sunday. So yeah, it just, I'm not sleeping. I don't remember a time when I felt this stressed. And unfortunately, it means that I have to wait a little bit until I post, the actual proper podcast that I want to post about Canada and stuff. That being said, I do have the vlogs that we filmed in Bordeaux finished. And like I said, those are probably the most fun and interesting vlogs that I've filmed in a really long time. And those are done because I filmed them in Bordeaux and then edited on the train back home to Paris. So at least those are done. If you guys want those, then I can definitely post them. The reason why I was waiting for the podcast is because I wanted to, give you the inside scoop, share the stories, and like laugh a little bit about what happened before I post the vlogs, which maybe don't give as much context, but yeah, I can definitely post those vlogs. Maybe I will, but yeah, life is really crazy right now, and I'm even thinking towards November, when, as you guys know, I am going back to Greece. George and I really want to film a documentary or a short film that we want to enter into a film festival. And that in and of itself is going to be crazy because I have to do a lot of research on making a documentary and filming and stuff. Like, it's crazy because when you're a YouTuber, you literally wear so many hats that you like have never necessarily been trained on. Like, nobody taught me how to film, nobody taught me how to write a script, no one taught me how to tell a story, and you have to be good at those things to produce a short film and a documentary like I want to do. So yeah, I'm just thinking ahead to how chaotic that's going to be, but I really hope that you guys can bear with me that, yeah, I don't know, I just feel really guilty, I feel terrible that I haven't been able to post on the channel that is supposed to be, I don't know, yeah, posting for friends. I think that's the only way that I can describe it. But yeah, I'm sorry this is probably not the podcast that you guys wanted. I got a lot of messages on Instagram asking when the podcast will be back and stuff. And even that, like, I've mentioned this before about how I handle stress, which maybe isn't great. But when I feel completely overwhelmed by stress like I do right now, I'm even worse at answering messages than I am normally. So I'm trying to stay on top of the comments on my YouTube videos. But yeah, even Instagram messages and stuff, like if I haven't been able to answer you, it's because I feel overwhelmed, and I will hopefully get around to answering everybody. But yeah, I think that's it for this podcast. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for, sticking around. Thank you for supporting me. Like, I think that's why I feel so guilty, is because you guys really do mean so much to me, and I feel like a bad person when I don't do my job properly. So yeah, anyways, thank you times a million, and I will see you on my main channel on Saturday for the video that I've been talking about. And then hopefully next Monday I will be back in the regular swing of things, and we can talk about the last month, talk about Canada, talk about Bordeaux, talk about it all. So yeah, I hope you guys have a really good week, and I'll see you soon.